Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Global Issues on Alhikmat TV 24/7 online. It is indeed a pleasure to have with us in Alhikmat's studio Brother Shabeer Shaker. Welcome to the show, Brother Shabeer. And for viewers out there, keep tuned into Alhikmat TV. We will get into some more details with Brother Shabeer Shaker on his background, his profession, his career, his services. He is the managing director or the regional manager actually for Guidance Residential. And I want to make sure I get these technicalities correct, Brother Shabeer. I got to get this correct. So it's the regional manager, Southeast region, and we will let you know more about that. So stay tuned as we continue this conversation. It's all about finance. It's about Islamic financing, the Sharia way, something very interesting, something that every second person would be interested in and would like to get knowledge and information about, especially here in the United States of America. In the Quran, in chapter 5, verse 67, Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ya ayyuhar Rasul, balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik, wa illam taf'al, fama balagta risalatahu. Very deep. Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to spread the message of the Quran. And he told the Prophet, and if you do not spread the message, you did not fulfill the mission of the messenger. So you and I are followers of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we can afford one Quran, help us join in distributing the Quran. So if you can't afford one Quran, do it. $3. 10 Quran, $30. 100 Quran, $300.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. If you would like to dedicate copies of one of these publications as Sadaqah Jariyah, continuous blessings for your parents or dear ones who have passed away, or fi sabilillah, in the path of Allah, please give us a call so we can place your names on these dedicated publications. You can call us at 954-986-0158, or you can also visit us at www.alhikmat.com.
Allah is the creator of different faces. Allah is the creator of all races. Allahu, 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 Allah.
So, Brother Shabeer Shaker Sahib, it's really a blessing to have you with us in Alhikmat studio.
Well, first of all, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh, and it's my indeed pleasure and honor to be here with you. I have always listened to your Friday sermon, and if I'm not able to attend the masjid at Jummah, I always listen to the recording because, mashallah, the crew you have is fantastic, and they always send the clips to us, and not only clips, the entire sermon, and I'm able to review and listen to the sermon, if not on the same Friday, maybe at least on the weekend. So it's good to be here. Mashallah, your efforts and your work for this community is remarkable. I, as a matter of fact, if you don't mind me to tell you that I came across to one of my customer who came and saw me at Alhikmat when you had an office in Masjid al-Hijra area. We had an event over there, and he came and saw me and met me, and he says he drives truck and he's mostly in North Carolina and South Carolina area, but he has your CD.
Oh,
he says, I listen to those CDs all the time, and this is how I know Shaikh Shafayat, and this is how I came and meet him, and this is how I saw your business card, and I wanted to come and see you.
Wow.
So you don't know where your words go and who's listening to your words. So I always admire your khidmat. I always admire that you, as a pioneer in the community, doing this so much hard work and you're doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the bottom line. We're doing this program here with all the global pandemics going on, and you asked me to come. I'll make sure that we have a protective shield and everything. So this is still a dawah. This is still a khidmat. When people sometimes don't realize, when I walk in here, I saw all the partitions, I saw the mask everybody was wearing, and we have this shield. So you say, you know what, Shabeer, you can put the mask if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I have the protective shield. So this is all precautions, and this is all khidmat, what you're doing it for deen, and you're asking me to come here and talk about Islamic financing as well too, in front of audience. This is also a dawah as well too. So
a couple of weeks ago, we did not, for the past couple of weeks, we did not have any interviews like this. And it was so frustrating, so boring. It's the first time in many years. And that's how, I don't know, the thought just came into me to go and see what I can get to use for this interview, because now we are, and for the benefit of those who are viewing, they may not be able to see the screen. Some may see it, some may not see it. And we would get some critics. Are they so close with no mask? We have the shield here that is so practical and realistic. But you know what? I mean, Allah bless us. We just want to make sure we get this message. And I appreciate your comments, and I appreciate your kind words. And it is all in the field of dawah, all in the field of spreading the message. And we have been trying to get you on this program for the longest while.
I remember,
And as you know, Brother Shaker, this program is broadcasted worldwide on internet, on different television networks, different countries, different Islamic TV networks take our shows and put it on their program. So we really don't know where in the world and how many different people sees this program. So it's really a blessing to have you, and your field is very unique, very, very unique, but very essential.
Yes.
This is considered essential, right?
Absolutely.
We hear a lot about essential in these COVID-19 days.
Absolutely, yes.
So as the regional manager for Southeast region of Guidance Residential, and for our viewers there, we want to let you know that Guidance Residential is an Islamic financing business company, sharia way of financing your homes, your residential properties. And Brother Shabeer Shaker is the master on that. So we're going to talk to him about that. Let him give us some of the different pros and cons of it. Questions, answers, how you, the viewers there, would like to benefit and would like to know and can benefit from these services. So tell us a little bit, Brother Shabeer, what motivated you to get involved with this finance company? Or this, should I say, Muslim finance company? What?
Well, it's Islamic finance company.
Islamic
financing company, and the main business of the company is to let American Muslim people not to compromise with their faith, and also have the same American dream, owning the ownership of the home like everybody else. That's the main business. Company was started in 2002, and the work started doing a couple of years back in 1999. As a matter of fact, I was doing a webinar last night, and I was explaining all those things to people. Lots of R&D, research and development work has been done before the company was launched. Millions of dollars were invested to create a program. The world-known scholars were brought together and form an independent Sharia Supervisory Board. 18 different law firms in U.S. were involved to create the contract. Well, let me correct myself. The Sheikh, the scholars were the one who created the contract and presented to the attorneys here. So to make sure that it's been under the compliance of laws of the land, approved by federal government, and then went state by state and get it approved. We started in 2002 after spending millions of dollars, and we started in 3 different states Today we are in 34 different states.
So how much is this guidance residential worth right now?
Well, it's hard to say how much.
I know, but
yeah,
because I remember
we have done over $6 billion. $6 billion Islamic financing into business, and we have.
And I think you need to repeat that: $6 billion, not
Yes, sir.
million, $6 billion. Because I remember listening to what is it, brother? The head of Brother Salim,
Khalid Al Sayed. He's
Khalid Al Sayed.
He's the CEO.
The CEO, yes, Brother Khalid. I listened to him on a video in some program somewhere in Washington or something to that effect, and he was talking about in a very short time this guidance residential was able to do billions of dollars of business and services, and I was like, wow, this is fascinating. This is really fascinating. And that's why I'm so interested in knowing what motivated you in getting involved.
Yes, I was gonna get there. What motivates me? I'm an entrepreneur for past 30 years, and I've been in the U.S. Since 1990s, almost 30 years, and so money was not an object. Money was, alhamdulillah, I was always blessed, so I had my decent living coming in. Then I was approached by guidance about 10 years ago, and I told brother who approached me that, look, thanks for your offer, but I have my hands tied up with other commitments, and I won't be the right guy for you. I had a real estate business, I have some other retail businesses. So then he reached out to me again and said, well, look, Shabeer, you need to look into it. This is not just an opportunity, this is also something, as a Muslim, we should look into it. So I looked into it and I asked him, and I gave him my humble opinion that, look, I really appreciate what you're offering me, but again, as we talked about it before, I am busy with my other commitments. Third time I got approached by one of their manager, head of his manager, and he said, well, Shabeer, let's sit down and talk, and I wanted to explain you what is the reason behind it. So when I sit down with him and he explained me, and he said, well, look, Shabeer, look at the cause behind it. You've been doing real estate business, you have Muslim, non-Muslim customers, you take him to the bank. I said, no, I don't take him to the bank, they come to the bank. I said, why don't you even tell them to go to the bank, or why even you not tell them that go to Islamic financing? So I saw the root cause behind it. And when I start doing this business, it's not to satisfy myself monetarily, satisfying the cause behind it. And believe me, Sheikh, this is my mission. Every time when I meet a person, a Muslim person, and when they tell me, oh, I never heard about guidance, I feel so bad that me living here in South Florida, and it's my fault that this guy does not know about guidance.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to make sure that people get the message across.
And I must say that I admire you guys. You guys do a lot of marketing. Why I admire that? Because, I am into dawah and I'm into marketing. Alhikmat is all about marketing, brochures. I'm sure listen, wherever you go, it's something we market, magazine, brochures, TV. I mean, like I tell people all the time, we were in media because of dawah, because of the mercy of Allah.
Yes.
And we have been into media, Alhikmat and dawah years before 9/11. You're talking about 37, 40 years ago. So when I look at some of the marketing that you guys do, I admire it. I see you at every event. You put up a banner, you're in the front page of Alhikmat.
Yes.
When we have events, you would advertise. So you guys do a phenomenal job in marketing. There are not many people who market. I look at a lot of people with businesses and they're scared to spend a few dollars to advertise and to market, not realizing marketing is a very powerful thing when you have a product to get out there. And Allah bless you all. You guys got a fantastic level of marketing.
Yeah, it's lots of legwork behind it. Not only just marketing dollar, it's the legwork, and the most important thing, Sheikh, to me is the cause. Because if I go to this event and if I can save somebody going to interest or riba, that's the blessing for me. Not only in this world, of course I'm gonna make money out of it, but hereafter. That's the cause behind it, and that's the cause actually keep me in the company. I started as a commission only part-timer. Then slowly I become a full-time because I saw the cause behind it, the value behind it. Then I got offered as an area manager. I took the responsibility. Then all of a sudden my CEO contacted me out of the blue and said, hey Shabeer, I want you to be the regional manager. And I have 8 states, not only just state of Florida.
Oh, what are the other states you're in
Okay,
charge
I have
of?
Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, North South Carolina, Tennessee, and Arkansas.
Wow.
So these are the 8 states I cover. And first thing I ask him, well, do I have some time to think? I said, well, you can think, but I need to go back into the board right now and I need to answer them. So I'm going to take your answer as a yes. This is how
So do you travel to all these states to meet the
Yes.
representatives, etc.?
Yes, absolutely. I do travel with community. My average, 3 times a month, I'm traveling. Every weekend, I'm spending to the different cities. Well, nowadays, since my last travel was late February and March, I stopped traveling. So I feel like that different environment right now.
I know.
Yeah, because my travel was all over. You know, I go to Arkansas, I go to Alabama sometime, I go to
Yes.
and the local travels going to Orlando office and Tampa, and those are I don't even count those. You know,
That's like home.
Yes, yeah, that's like
That's
just
like-
in Orlando, just a Tampa. You know, as a matter of fact, I've seen your Alhikmat magazine in Jacksonville Masjid, and I've seen this in Orlando and Tampa as well too. So I know this magazine is out there everywhere.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So
It's been around.
Dawah work, you're the one who inspired me.
Thank
And
you,
I
thank
take
you.
this thing as a dawah work as well too. And if I can save somebody going to the riba, if anybody can go back and read Surah Baqarah between ayah number 275 and 275 and 279 and understand this thing, you will not be in the right mind in this world to go and deal with interest. That's all I'm
Yes.
going to say. And these are the words of Holy Quran. It's not something coming from somewhere. These are the Holy Quran words. You have thousands and thousands of copies, and these are the words, are the same words in every single copy.
And I think this is such a blessed means to help people from a spiritual point of view, a financial point of view, a moral point of view, economical point of view, because you got this board of international scholars that lay down the guidelines from a Sharia point of view. So alhamdulillah, we have all that covered. I mean, guidance is out there. It has done billions of dollars in the services it has provided. So tell us a little bit, brother Shabeer. A person wants to buy a property. A person wants to buy a property. I mean, I know most of it will be like any other financial company, but just for the benefit of our viewers, because we got viewers, as I said, worldwide and America is very, very, very international. What does that mean? That there are people who may be living in Pakistan, in Dubai, in the Caribbean, but they got properties in America. They got relatives here. They bought homes here. They come here. They rent the homes here while they are across there. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So they might just be interested in contacting you of buying another property in Florida, in Georgia, Atlanta. So how does one go about doing this?
Okay.
Using guidance, residential, Islamic Sharia financing.
Absolutely. Let me just give you a brief snapshot. If a person wants to buy a property in U.S., has to file taxes in U.S. for 2 years, as long as the income is verified, they can qualify. A person who...
I like that, very important.
Yes.
A person buying a property or using your services to get qualified by guidance residential, they gotta have the IRS up to standard.
Yes, the taxes.
Okay.
Now, not necessarily a U.S. citizen is working abroad, and he's making his livings over there, but he wants to buy a home here for his family. Absolutely, he can do that. I have lots of doctors. They are working in Saudi Arabia, King Fahd Hospital. They're U.S. citizen, and they file their taxes. I have my family member. He's a CPA accountant, and he's also in Saudi Arabia. He filed his taxes here, and he bought the family. He bought the home for his family here in U.S. And he bought a second home, as a matter of fact. It's called a primary residence and a second home. So he bought a second home because him and his family come and visit, spend some time here with their mother-in-laws in California. So they bought a house here. So people can qualify as long as they're filing the taxes in the U.S. They can qualify for those. I want to make sure that the concept is clear that if a foreign person who wants to buy a property in U.S., the investors who have who's are on our back, they don't accept those contracts. So if a foreigner, not a U.S. citizen or a person who's not living in U.S. that wants to buy the house, unfortunately we cannot offer them the financing. But if a person who is a U.S. citizen
Or a resident.
living abroad, working abroad and wants to buy a home here for their family, they can qualify for that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
Because most of the time, a person who resides abroad and wants to buy a property here, most of the time they would have solid cash to do that. They may have a banking account in the U.S. They may have some sort of financial backing here, so they will probably buy that property cash.
Yes, they can buy the property cash, and there are some. Being a person in the industry, I know there are some financial institute, they do it, but those are not Sharia compliant, and those programs are not authentic as guidance are. So those are non-Sharia compliant program. But there are some banks and financial institute can do that for foreign investors, but not guidance. Unfortunately, for us, we cannot do this thing.
Okay, beautiful.
I wanted to be very clear with you.
No, that's why we want our viewers to understand, so that they will know upfront what are the consequences and the pros and cons.
Yes.
So, Brother Shabeer, we have been speaking for approximately 20 minutes already. Would you believe that? 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
Sheikh, when sitting with you, time goes, you won't even know.
Yes, beautiful. So I would like to continue this conversation after the short break. We got to go on a short break.
Okay.
But when we come back, we want to talk a little bit about some of the steps an actual guy, brother, sister, family wants to get this. What are some of the steps they take? They call you, they call the representative, they call the office. This is what they should have in their hands. This is what they should know. So when we come back, we'll continue that. So viewers, stay tuned. When we come back after the short break, we will continue this conversation of guidance residential with our brother Shabeer Shaker, who is the regional manager for Southeast region of Guidance Residential. He's an expert in this now. And those of you who are living in the USA, living abroad, we got family members here, however, and can benefit from these services. It's an Islamic Sharia way of home financing. You can benefit a great deal. Thousands have benefit, as you have heard. Billions of dollars have been spent and invested in this Islamic Home Sharia way financing. So stay tuned. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. Allah gives hikmat, wisdom, to whomsoever He wills. And whomsoever is given wisdom is certainly given a lot of good. Only the people of understanding will benefit from the reminder. Tune in to Alhikmat TV for khutbahs, lectures, and Islamic reminders. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
In the Quran, in chapter 5, verse 67, Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ya ayyuhar Rasul, balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik, wa illam taf'al, fama balagta risalatahu. Very deep. Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to spread the message of the Quran. And he told the Prophet, and if you do not spread the message, you did not fulfill the mission of the messenger. So you and I are followers of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we can afford one Quran, help us join in distributing the Quran. So if you can't afford one Quran, do it. $3. 10 Quran, $30. 100 Quran, $300. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Global Issues on Alhikmat TV 24/7 online. Once more, it is a pleasure to have with us in the studio Brother Shabeer Sheikh. For those of you who just tune in, Brother Shabeer Sheikh is the regional manager for Southeast region of Guidance Residential, which is an Islamic financing shari'ah way services. So stay tuned as we continue our conversation. To continue from where we stopped, Brother Shabeer.
Yes, sir.
So we want to get right into it because, you know, a lot of people may have a lot of ideas, but hearing it from you, as we say, the horse's mouth. Brother Abdullah, Brother Muhammad wants to buy a house. What is expected from him? And what should he expect from you? What, you know, you just don't want a guy come off the street and doesn't have a job and doesn't have money and is like, I'm going to buy a property. What does he need to know that he should have at least before he gives you a call? You see the steps I'm taking here.
Yes. Well, even the person does not have any knowledge for the steps, you're still more than welcome to reach out to us. And let's say you have a plan to buy a house towards the end of this year or towards the beginning of next year.
Right.
So the best time for you to reach out to the financial institute like us and reach out to our account executives, and we handhold, we'll tell you what to do, what not to do. So first and foremost, we'll make sure your income. So you have to have 2 years of established employment. And there are some certain guidelines that you don't require 2 years of income if you are studying full time for a school, for a nursing school or a doctor's school or a pharmacy school. You recently graduated and you just got a job. You on this job for 30 days or 60 days, and you have a employment letter from the hospital that you're working over there as a full-time nurse, and we show the 30 days of pay stubs, you can qualify for those. There are some exceptions for 2 years of employment if you were in 2 years of full-time school, and once you finish your school and once you start the job.
Excellent. So basically the person got to have 2 years of employment.
2 years of employment.
Of taxes, return,
Yes.
filed and shown.
Yes.
Beautiful. What kind of cash are we looking at the person? Does the person have to put down cash?
Well, it depends.
You know, I'm talking.
Yeah.
I'm talking what the viewers are thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can qualify as low as 3% down payment.
So a person wants to buy a house for $250,000. Let's get an average price, $250,000.
Yes.
$250,000.
Yes.
All right. I mean, you got people may get a deal for 150, 200, but generally nowadays you're talking around $250,000, right?
Minimum.
250,000.
Yes, for a decent size.
Right, for a decent size. How much cash does that person? The person needs to have 2 years IRS filing to show that they got a job.
Yes.
Proof
of income.
Proof of income.
Proof of income, which is only can be verified through the taxes return.
Excellent. And what deposit?
Okay. Well, then you required minimum required down payment is 3%. I mean, as much as you put, you know.
Yes.
It's an old saying that more sugar you put, more sweeter it's get.
Yes.
So you put 25% down payment. Obviously, there's a less risk factor, so you get best of the best rate.
So the least that the person may have to put down is 3%.
3% subject to your income and credit. If the income is supporting the liabilities, then you can qualify, and I can go over in a little bit of more details specification what I mean by liabilities. Liabilities mean any kind of car payment you have, any kind of credit card payments you have, any kind of student loans, or a person may have a child support obligation or an alimony obligation. So all those considered as a liabilities. It will be showing on your credit report or in the public record. So those liability plus the proposed home liability. proposed home liability means the housing expense. You will pay a profit in, I'm going to explain you in a layman term, principal and interest of your monthly payment, right? Plus the taxes of the property and insurance of the property, and if there is a homeowner association. So all those things combined together, your proposed liability and the existing liability should not go more than 45% of your monthly income. So this is the DTI, debt to income ratio criteria, 45% of the income. And then you can put minimum of 5% down payment or 3% down payment. You can still qualify if your liabilities are under 40% ratio. And as long as you have a good standings in credit, the excellent credit score is after 740, everything is excellent. 720, I should say, everything is good and excellent. But minimum credit score is 620 requirement.
That's important, a 620.
Yes.
So between 620 credit score and 720, a
Yes.
person can sail through.
Yeah, I mean,
Based on consequences.
620 is minimum, but we may require a little bit extra down payment if you have a 620. 680, you can qualify for 5% down payment if you have a 680 credit score. Then you should be able to qualify, a rule of thumb I'm saying it, you will be able to qualify on a 5% to 3% down payment, and anything above that, you should be fine.
Excellent. What about, what's the maximum cost? Any maximum cost of a property a person can buy? I'm just saying, you know, let's suppose if a person wants something into $2-3 million, they would be worth that to get it. So they may not, a person like that may not be taking a loan. Do you have those kind of people?
We do came across with these kind of people, but unfortunately, the state of Florida has a limit for $510,300 to be exact. So
Good to ask that. I mean,
yes, definitely. It's a very, very valid and very important question for people to understand this, and for the viewers to also, you know, for their knowledge. So the maximum we can do, which is called in the mortgage terms called confirming loan. So a confirming loan limit for state of Florida is $510,300, and we cannot go beyond this. It used to be 417, then went to 484, and last year it went to 510.
excellent.
So if you're buying a property, let's say you're buying a property for $800,000, the remaining money has to, we can only go up to 510. The remaining of the money has to come from your pocket as a down payment.
No, I'm really glad to know that.
Yes.
And I'm sure a lot of people will benefit from that.
Yes.
Another
yes.
question, because I'm trying to get as much questions as the viewer and the purchaser would be thinking. A person got a house, all right, and didn't know about Guidance Residential. So the person has a mortgage with a bank. The person probably, his or her credit wasn't good when they got that mortgage. So they're in a situation where you got some rates that fluctuates, right? Some interest rates fluctuate. So that's what they got from the bank 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago. They want to refinance. Now their credit is better, they got a better job, they're making more money, but their cost or the fees that they pay every month, I mean, I don't like using the word mortgage, but their mortgage fees are $2,000. Now their credit is good, and they can get 3%, 4% now from the regular banks, 5%. You got that. With COVID-19, they can get 0%. Could a person like that come to you for refinancing? Do you do that also?
Absolutely, absolutely. You can always come and you can refinance. I was a Bank of America customer back in 2001 when I bought a house. Guidance was not even exist at the time. Company launched in 2002. So I was a Bank of America customer, and when I went to Hajj and I find out about the consequences which I'm going to deal with hereafter, dealing with interest, and I made my tawbah. I came back here after Hajj, and first thing I did, I refinanced my house with Guidance because I knew Guidance was existing. So
and that's a good point. So a person just wanted to get out. So two things. A person may want to get out of the $2,000 payment every month
Yes.
because of their credit and their house, and bring it down to $1,000 a month with a 3% or 2% or whatever in those areas. But guidance Sharia finances into a different strategy and style.
Yes.
But more than anything else, want to get out of that interest and mortgage and go through the Sharia style.
Absolutely.
So you refinance like that?
Absolutely. We do refinances, and sometimes people see the value in the savings, and sometimes people see the value in the cost, because I
Yes.
want to get rid of interest. Simple as that.
Is
No.
it the same procedure? Like you're going to buy a new property?
Well, pretty much same procedure. Instead of you signing up a contract with the seller, there is no seller involved in this. There is no deed changing, no title changing,
Okay.
same title. The only thing is we will make sure that there is no additional lien on the property during the period when you own the property, and then we refinance it. The closing costs are very minimal. And if you ask me, as far as the closing cost, it's pretty much same customary closing costs which a banks offer you. So the closing cost is the same pretty much within the ballpark, $50, $100 up and down, and our profit rate are very competitive to the banks offering interest rate. Then what is the reason person does not want to do Islamically?
I mean, and it's a business, so you got to have the expenses. You got a lot of expenses. There's a lot of money being invested in buying properties to sell back in the Islamic Sharia way.
Yeah.
So it is going to be very costly, but it's going to save the buyer a lot of money, and it's going to be a big blessing for them.
Absolutely. The peace of mind is the most important thing here. The peace of mind, money cannot buy. The peace of mind is something, it comes from inside and comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Another question, Brother Shaker. A person lives abroad, or the person is living abroad, or lives here in the United States of America, as well as in some other foreign country. We mentioned before that that person needs to have a job here, paying IRS up to date, etc. How does that person, let's say a person has something here, has a business here, lives abroad, pays taxes here, right? Got some kind of business here, is a green card holder, citizen, resides in another country, business, job, whatever may be the case. And the person wants to go through this. Oh, so it's the same procedure.
Absolutely.
Back to-
He can purchase
But
a
let's
house.
say, I mean, I don't know how legal this is now. So a person does not have a job here. The person does not live here legally. All right? Brother Muhammad lives in another country, and that brother wants to buy a property here. Now the brother can go through his relative. I don't know how legal this is. Oh no, it's just like the brother has money, a certain amount to put down on a house, but the brother will have to get a relative here to buy that in their name for them, right?
Yes.
What is the legal technique?
but
Well, I suppose legally there's nothing in that. You can give your brother money to buy a house for you, and you pay, you give them the payments.
the person who will be the applicant can buy a property as an investment property, and it will be under his name, and then
Even though that person has another property
yeah,
and another loan with you.
doesn't matter.
You see, that's where we get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can buy multiple properties for different purposes. Let's say you have a house and you live in inland, and now you want to buy a house in Orlando. Or you want to buy a small condo in Orlando because the family likes to go and visit the Disney.
Right.
And so you bought a second home over there where you will be using that second home some times of the year for your recreation, for your vacations. So you can buy a second home. Or you can buy an investment property where you can live in the same community, and you can buy literally a next door house. If it comes in the market and you want to buy this house because you want to rent it next to you, you can buy an investment property. We can finance those properties as well too. So the person who's living abroad, let's say a person is a foreign national, and he does not work in the USA, but he has money, he's a relative here, and the relative can buy an investment property. And now we're not gonna ask the relative, hey, why you are renting the property to this gentleman and not collecting the rent? That's between him and his family member. That's between him and his tenant, I should say. So we don't regulate the rental income, but yes, legally he can buy a property as an investment property for himself, and he can give it to his relative to live there for free.
Okay.
They can work together. Yeah,
has no implication of
absolutely. There is no application.
All right, so we got a couple minutes again to end the show, brother Shabeer. It's already almost getting to 20 minutes again.
Okay.
What else do you think we need to cover that we did not discuss in this?
Lot of
area
time,
of
yes.
guidance
Lot of
residential?
time people ask me a question and they say, "Oh, I heard that you guys are expensive," and I tell them, well, the best way to find out that if we are expensive, get an estimate from a third party. Get an estimate from third party. Get an estimate from me, and then you compare apple to apple and tell me if I'm really, really expensive. Am I expensive? Then how expensive? Am I expensive $3,000 in my closing cost? Or if you're receiving nowadays 2.625 interest rate from a bank, and am I offering you 4% interest profit rate? So compare this thing and tell me how expensive I am. And when people look at the apples to apple, we are neck to neck. It's a myth. It's a humor about Islamic financing. It's expensive. It's really not expensive. It's pretty much same neck to neck, pretty much same within ballpark, because we have to benchmark our profit rate what banks are offering you, the other financial institutes are offering you as an interest rate.
Right.
If my profit rate is 4% or 4.5%, and the market rate is 2.5% to 3%, people will the image of guidance will be ruined. That hey, they are taking advantage of Muslim community because they know that we cannot go and deal with riba or interest, and we have to deal with Islamically. That's why they're taking advantage. No, this is not the case, and pricings are pretty much, even though on the back end the program costs us more, there is a maintenance fees for this program as well too. It's an ongoing cost. We bear most of the cost to ourselves, because the audit, the Sharia Supervisory Board, once they approve the contract, once they launch this thing, it doesn't mean their job is done. They audit us every year randomly, our files, to make sure that what we are doing is the same as they approved it. So there's a cost to it, which we bear the cost, but we want to make sure that we stay competitive as much as possible.
So bottom line, you're saying that the cost and the expenses in buying a home through Guidance Residential is very competitive with the banking system out there, if not cheaper.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, that's phenomenal. That's unique. Now, if someone wants to get in contact with you, they got some questions, local, national, international, because they would have been looking at this talk show on Alhikmat TV, on YouTube, Facebook, whichever television network this program is being broadcast. What's the best way? Should they call Alhikmat office to get your number? Should they call you directly, or what do they do? I know you got an advertisement on the front cover of Alhikmat, and
I was gonna say
Alhikmat does support Guidance Residential, a big deal. So what is the best way someone wants to call you, the horse's mouth?
Yeah, you can, well, my name and my phone number is right on the first page of Alhikmat. They can always visit at Guidance Residential, www.guidanceresidential.com.
Guidanceresidential.com.
Yes, guidanceresidential.com. They can visit there and they can find us, and they can always, and you can always call 1-866-GUIDANCE. And our operators will transfer to us. You can tell them, I want to speak to Shabeer, I want to speak to the man in charge in Florida.
Yes, ma'am.
I will be reached, and they can discuss with me directly, and they can discuss with one of my account executives. I have a team of 5 people in Florida. By the way, I'm looking for the 6th one too, so they can reach out to me anytime they want to. They can reach out to my team members. All the files, as a regional manager, all the 8 states, all the files goes under me. So if you ask me that, hey Shabeer, please make sure you review my files, believe me, all the files goes through me, and I make sure that every single customer is satisfied and happy customers.
So someone is interested in a property in some other states, it doesn't matter. They can still call you, and you will make the necessary connection for a person who is looking to buy a property in Boston, in New York, in Chicago, etc. So we just don't want the viewers there. We don't want you to think that if you are not interested in buying in the southeast region of the United States, that is Georgia, Carolinas also, right?
North, South Carolina,
North,
Tennessee.
South Carolina, Alabama, etc., Florida. If it's any other states in the United States, you can still contact Brother Shabeer Shaker. He will put you on, or he will contact those people to contact you. So the services are all there. And last but not least, they can call Alhikmat office for your number.
Absolutely.
For the number, and they can call you. I think this is phenomenal. If there is nothing else, we just got a couple seconds again to conclude. Whatever, you got the last word.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh, for having me here. I really, it's always pleasure, to spend some time with your company. And so, time flies with you. Believe me, I don't even feel that we spend 35-40 minutes here together.
We've been together for an hour now.
Yes. So it feels like, hey, and I can spend more hours with you. Believe me,
Thank you.
So, mashallah, very inspiring personality you have. And like I say, you are an encyclopedia of knowledge, mashallah.
Jazakallah. Thank you very much. Jazakallah, Brother Shabeer Shaker. It's a great pleasure to have you in Alhikmat studio. It has been a very long time now since we wanted to do this.
Yes.
But you know what? Allah knows best.
Allah
knows best. Allah is the most wise, the most knowledgeable, and He makes the right thing happen the right time.
Yes.
Allah, there's a famous Urdu saying, Allah ke kaam der hai, lekin andher
nahi.
But I like to modify that. I don't know, but I don't think it's too correct to say that Allah's work is slow and Allah's work is not in darkness. I think Allah's work is promptly on time.
Absolutely.
It's we who think that it's slow.
Lack of knowledge.
Allah ke kaam der hai means we think that God's work is slow. But God's work is on the right time.
Yep.
And it couldn't be better and faster than when it is. But we in our mind think, well, it's taken too long. But He knows when it's best for rain to fall. He knows when it's best for whatever to happen. It's in our mind we think it's slow. So I may be probably thinking that it should have been done before. But Allah knows this is the right time.
This is the right time.
Blessing to have you with us.
Jazakallah khair.
Great
Likewise.
blessing. Thank you very much again. And for those of you who have just tuned in, we have been talking to Brother Shabeer Shaker. He is the regional manager, and I want to make sure I have the correct terminology for the Southeast region in the United States of America for Guidance Residential, which is an Islamic finance Sharia way. A wonderful service, and as you have been hearing, millions of dollars of services have been put into this Islamic Sharia way residential, I don't want to use the word banking system, but financial system, and he is the expert at it. We were blessed to have him on the show. If you just tuned in, you can go back on YouTube, on Facebook, on Alhikmat TV, and you can get this entire talk show from Alhikmat TV to benefit from this discussion between myself and Brother Shabeer Shaker. Thank you very much, and all that remains, stay tuned to Alhikmat TV 24/7. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the Quran, in chapter 5, verse 67, Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ya ayyuhar Rasul, balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik, wa illam taf'al, fama balagta risalatahu. Very deep. Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to spread the message of the Quran. And he told the Prophet, and if you do not spread the message, you did not fulfill the mission of the messenger. So you and I are followers of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we can afford one Quran, help us join in distributing the Quran. So if you can't afford one Quran, do it. $3. 10 Quran, $30. 100 Quran, $300. When we educate the world, ignorant Muslims as well as non-Muslims, about Islam, the message of the Quran, the lifestyle of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, then those ignorant people and those people with hate out there, we may not be able to convince everyone. But inshallah, bi'idhnillah, we will be able to convince most of them.
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the believers in the mutual kindness, compassion and sympathy are just like one body. When any part of the body suffers, the whole body feels pain.
We don't wake up and spread this message of Islam and get people to understand the true message of the Quran and the true life pattern and conduct of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, people will have this sort of hate against us. But the world has 1.5 billion Muslims, beautiful masjids. Muslims got everything, but yet you got a lot of haters, and you got a man shooting people on March 15th in New Zealand. These buildings and these schools did not stop that. We got to spread the message to eradicate that hate and that misunderstanding against Islam and Muslims in the world. The beautiful buildings won't do that.
Since 9/11, there has been a great fear of Islam.
We need Muslims, I always say, to speak up in this country.
Much of our Islamic community is perceived to be insular.
Most Americans have never met a Muslim or are not aware of having met a Muslim.
Most people don't have enough education in terms of what the entirety of Islam represents.
It's very easy to hate someone or to put stereotypes on people that you've never interacted with.
But do you think if Muslims were more integrated in society, in America, in the United States of America, then there would have been less anti-Muslim scenario?
I think it's even more important that our clergy speak up. They are, after all, the moral force in our community.
You see, the Islam that is celebrated is one which opens its doors.
Having this type of dialogue in terms of a community outreach or
Something that Muslims have to do is go out just like you do and inviting non-Muslims to the iftar. And you do a lot of speaking to mixed groups.
We have to change the language from us versus them to a language of we.
I believe that if we can stand together against the forces of hatred and be unified in this country, then we can do wonderful things.
Bringing us together to enhance the beauty of humankind.
I think religion can be such a powerful force for unity.
Of course.
We've made it into this powerful force for disunity.
Keep trying to understand each other and care for each other and keep building a world community, because I believe that's what God wants for us all.
And I'm in their mosques and they're in my temple, and it's been a phenomenal experience. I've had a very warm and welcoming experience from all the brothers and sisters in the community.
That every human being is either your brother in faith or brother in humanity.
In Arabic, the word is lita'arafu, so that you will learn to understand one another.
And this is the truth of what it should be. You see, this is why I am so pleased to come here today, to support the work of Alhikmat.
The kind of intolerance and the violence that we see across the globe is rooted in ignorance, which we can overcome by teaching.
Yes.
Also rooted in fear, which we can overcome by experiencing, where we can actually live in each other's presence. It's rooted in this myopic kind of my way only, rather than this understanding that maybe all of us have more in common, and at the core of who we are is this truly global family that we belong to.
I'd like to say what a joy and pleasure it is to have Shaikh Shafayat as my friend, as my teacher, as my co-worker in the vineyard of Allah, God, where we work together to make this world a better place, to do God's work, to do the work which we are commanded to do as human beings.
Assalamu alaikum. Allah gives hikmat, wisdom, to whomsoever He wills. And whomsoever is given wisdom is certainly given a lot of good. Only the people of understanding will benefit from the reminder. Tune in to Alhikmat TV for khutbahs, lectures, and Islamic reminders. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Royal Bengal Trading, importer, exporter, wholesaler of Bangladeshi Indo-Pak groceries and spices. We specialize in various authentic Indian masalas, juices, flours, rices, and spices. We offer exclusive brands as Ocean Pearl, Shan, National, Tilda, Himani, and many, many more. We're located at 36B Coroni Savannah Road, Charleville, Chaguanas, Trinidad and Tobago. You can call us at 473-4676 or call 476-3117. Email us at wahabdk@gmail.com.
Fens, the single largest specialty retailer of residential and office furniture, consumer electronics, home appliances, and household items in Trinidad and Tobago. At Fens, we offer a large selection of high-quality products, honest and reliable service. We are passionate about serving you, and we're proud of the standard of excellence upheld by our knowledgeable staff, friendly delivery teams, and dedicated customer care associates. Visit Fens First, your friendly furniture, appliance, and electronic dealer since 1960.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If you would like to dedicate copies of one of these publications as Sadaqah Jariyah, continuous blessings for your parents or dear ones who have passed away, or fi sabilillah, in the path of Allah, please give us a call so we can place your names on these dedicated publications. You can call us at 954-986-0158, or you can also visit us at www.alhikmat.com.
Allah is the creator of different faces. Allah is the creator of all races. Allahu, 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 Allah.
In the Quran, in chapter 5, verse 67, Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ya ayyuhar Rasul, balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik, wa illam taf'al, fama balagta risalatahu. Very deep. Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to spread the message of the Quran. And he told the Prophet, and if you do not spread the message, you did not fulfill the mission of the messenger. So you and I are followers of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we can afford one Quran, help us join in distributing the Quran. So if you can't afford one Quran, do it. $3. 10 Quran, $30. 100 Quran, $300.